to move into a fully furnished flat. It's fine, it's gone now. So this is new work, but part of a long process.
We're calling it a civil partnership. And when somebody quizzed Ellie about this recently, she said, ugh. So that's our context.
But that's my response to everything. That's my context. It's what I've discussed.
We'll read the poem.
Yeah, that's right. Your back was turned when you asked me. If not fully turned, then it was in the act of turning. Perhaps we turn too often from one another without fully promising to complete the circuit and to make it back.
I turned my back because I thought you could touch it easier around the cyclical knots there, but to turn away and turn back, all the better to see you with, is a bedded purposelessness.
I'm trying to say that the last time I lied, you were making selections of music, or a music of selections, an uneasiness of chiasmus, a murder of crows, a blueness of kindness. I was busy pulling apart a candle or food or a bad joke and looking at my hands for traces as the quickest lie I ever told filled my mouth with metal. It caused a whole trumpet to grow up my throat. It grew up like a lily, but your back was still where your face should be. And I'm happy to blame the messenger for that one. Please, tell me more about what I should be feeling when we listen to music together.
I put on S Club 7's You, and look at you. Expect you to say something. Maybe, sometimes, I put unnecessary pressure on you as my second person. You are all I need to get me through now, baby. And I know this is not the jazz finesse you might expect, and I imagine you imagining a trumpet instead of a windpipe, and that you'll lie to me with, what a nice song, or, God, this takes me back, or even, would you like a cup of coffee? What you don't know is that after I have picked my 8 tracks, you are always my luxury item.
I was pulling apart a candle. When light is an easy target, you know you've really made it. The term old flame means nothing, really, I want to say. Hardwired as a flame is to always get busy in that space between wax and string and air, and your back was still where my face should be, and I could have pulled the best fingerprints right off my hands, laid the table right there with their lines and loops, made contour lines for a map of you / for you / of the mapping for you, for the hell of it. If not a map, then a musical stave, ready for the notes and the treble clefs.
Hardwired as a frame is to always be short-sighted and bridge-heavy, which carries weightless and less without necessary reparations. Your face was still turned to where my back was turned against. And we are probably a lot like a picture in this dark, slightly glassed and static. If we were Susan Sontag and Annie Leibovitz, would you be regarding the pain of others or Rolling Stone magazine?
I know this line like the back of my hand. I know you like the back of my hand. I know this song like the back of my hand. I do not know the back of my hand at all. Your back was still where a face should be. Sput sounds better than the past tense spat. Gnat sounds better than that past tense gnawed. And it is undoubtedly a good thing, as ever, as the candle spits and gnaws, that these things are not left up to me.
We chew the cud and fat, and between the shuddering of candle scents and the questionable cleanliness of the always-on coffee pot, words, 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 birds, if Hamlet were a woman, and this futility of vocab female.
I use too many brackets in the words because and thing in poems, the same way that galleries use lines on the floors or velvet ropes. It stops you from touching the thing that you came to look at.
When we're in for a penny, in for a pound of fleshiness, we at least want to touch what has been masterful for the $12.99 entrance fee. Outside, the sound of sporadic drums steel themselves against the cold light of the bridge, built in the millennium's wake. If I were a bridge, I too would be tied up with time and bolted to the fraying cordage of metal lines.
The quickest lie I ever told filled my mouth with metal because a whole trumpet grew up my throat. It grew like a lily in the kitchen. You did not see because your back was still turned. My tongue grew white, then silver-tipped, then golden, and as I cleared my throat as if to shoot the breeze or bust my chops, it bungled, rattled at the transformed, untuned back of my mouth, at your back turned, and my breath made the candle's light embarrassed and shirking with a one single clear single note, clear like a lily.
The tulips you bought sit on the side, like a fanfare, and I am always glad to see you. Orchestrated and cacophonic, with a shoe slipped off against the front door, slightly rouged and open-mouthed, your tongue a stamen that colours people unexpectedly, with even the scarcest touch. Maybe not a tulip then, but a lily. And I know you want me to think of Sylvia, and I pick records, and you talk apace with a brilliance northern of just here where we were around Clapham.
I don't think you noticed because you were still selecting music. I bugled a reveille, a clarion call, whatever you like to call it. Whatever you'd like to call it, the candlelight on the metal of my tongue looked like a glowing bruise. The kitsch of it all, the candlelight and the trumpet and the music and the lie. You would have loved it. You would have wanted to tell me about it if I wasn't already there. Later I find the track, I tracked it down, and I lie like a contour line in the sun, in grass that is not like candles.
But if you had just asked, I could have told you it was Taylor Swift's Blank Space. Like the emptiness you have left in the room and the page. So I can insert myself into all your carefully constructed distances and forms as I think of you.
In a park that we've sat in before, our heads not together, on a bench made for other people, where we've never interrupted one another, where our words make room for themselves, as shoulders or backs might.
So it's going to be forever, or it's going to go down in flames. You can tell me when it's over, if the high was worth the pain. Got a long list of ex-lovers. They'll tell you I'm insane. 'Cause you know I love the players, and you love the game.
With the track and your not being here, all is overwritten and the sky is butter-tongued with birds. There is this song, this trumpet brandy bitter and lily-like between my teeth, and with my back to the grass, I improvise directly at the sun that's facing me.
I've got a blank space, baby, and I'll write your name.
Thank you.
Yeah.